A stereotype is a widely held but fixed and oversimplified belief about a particular group of people. Widely held, fixed, oversimplified, meaning it doesn't ask questions. It doesn't look deeper. It doesn't adjust. It decides before it understands. And when a stereotype is repeated long enough, it stops sounding like an opinion. It starts sounding like truth. You ever notice some of the most dangerous words in history are the ones people start saying about themselves? Not insults from enemies. Not labels from oppressors. The ones we repeat casually, socially, comfortably. Because once the label feels normal, it stops feeling like a weapon. And that's how stereotypes survive generations. Wow. This is another episode of the Jason Sharpe Show with your boy, Jason Sharpe. The name should be showing up right here. Jason Sharpe. The title of this episode is called Dark History, Part 3, Stereotypes. Stay tuned.
Sharpe TV.
The Jason Sharpe Show.
So far on this journey of dark history, we talked about Africa before distortion. We talked about systemic destruction. But today, we're talking about something much deeper. Because history just don't change laws. History changes language. And language changes identity. I want to give y'all 4 stereotypes that are still being used today.
Wow.
We are even using or living by these stereotypes right now. But before we get into that, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification bell so you will know when I drop that new video. Stereotype number 1. Lazy. Black people are lazy. Stereotype number 1. Black people are lazy. Let's start with that one. That's almost laughable when you think about it. It's comical. When you sit back and think about that, that's comical. The lazy stereotype. Black people don't want to work. Pause. A people forced to work for over 400 years, sun up to sundown, with no pay, no rest, and no types of ownership for the work we doing, or they did. And somehow after all that, the label becomes lazy. Something ain't sitting right with that one.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
After slavery ended, many free black Americans did something radical. Guess what they did? They didn't want to work on plantations anymore. They didn't want to work on plantations anymore. Imagine that. It wasn't because they were lazy, but it was because they were tired of exploitation.
Yeah.
But here's what happened. When they left plantations, systems like sharecropping trapped them in debt. What's sharecropping? I'm glad you asked. Sharecropping is a system of agriculture where a landowner allows a tenant to use land in exchange for a share of the crops produced rather than cash. Emerging in the post-Civil War U.S. South, it allowed landowners to secure labor and formerly enslaved people to find work. Through it, often created a cycle of debt and poverty. When blacks migrated north, including cities like Detroit, they filled factory jobs. They didn't want to work on the plant. They didn't want to work on plantations no more. We did something completely different. They worked in industrial lines. They built infrastructures. They poured into the auto plants. And yet, during economic downturns, they were labeled lazy. Are y'all getting this? Y'all picking up the inversion here? Y'all see the inversion? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Work without freedom equals obedient. Work without autonomy equals lazy. Stereotypes aren't accidental. They are convenient. Because if you can convince a society someone is lazy, you don't have to feel guilty about not investing in them.
Whoa.
You don't have to ask why opportunities were blocked. You just say,
they don't want to work. They don't want it. They don't want the job. They don't want the opportunity.
and you move on. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification bell so you'll know when I drop that new video. Stereotype number 2. Black people are criminals and violent. Stereotype number 2. Black people are criminals and violent.
Mad at you or what?
He all right.
Oh, cool. Get that boy out there.
Hey, which one of y'all's came?
Who is this fool, man?
Who wanna know?
A friend, homie.
Homie, I don't think you know me.
Hey, well, check this out. I'm Alina's cousin, partner. She don't like the way you've been dogging her, and I don't either.
What? We supposed to fight over a bitch?
Damn.
I think you need to watch who you calling a bitch, partner.
Yeah, and I think you better watch who the fuck you.
Go ahead, strap that fool. Rush him, nigga, rush him. Damn. Hell, you stop. Yeah.
Bruh.
Nigga trying to start all that shit. Nigga, I ain't no punk, nigga.
Oh my God!
Can't chill, nigga.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Motherfucker.
Let's talk about fear. We gonna talk about fear because fear is profitable.
What?
Think about the news. That's another story though. After Reconstruction, black codes criminalized minor behaviors. Loitering, vagrancy, small infractions. Then came convict leasing.
Huh?
What you talking about, Willis? Which meant arresting black men and leasing them to plantations and companies. See, when you in jail, that's pretty much like slavery. You work for that bare minimum. That's why they was locking people up in such mass. Slavery by another name. That's what jail time is. Slavery by another name. But here's the genius of it. If you criminalize existence, you can justify punishment.
I'll be damned.
Fast forward decades later. Media headlines. Evening news cycles. Images of mug shots. Black people in mug shots. All over the news. Over and over again. What you think is gonna happen? What you think is gonna happen if you got black people labeled as criminals on media headlines, evening news cycles, images of mugshots everywhere, stories framed a certain way over and over? What you think is gonna happen?
Hank, do you care whether you live or die?
I don't know. Come on, man. Let's bail. Come on.
They go label black people in association with criminals and violence. Black equals danger. Black equals threatening. Black equals crime. Never mind the economic conditions. Never mind reading. Never mind underfunded schools. Never mind policies. Just zoom in on that mugshot of them black folk. You repeat that enough and it sticks. And once fear sticks, it spreads. Now neighborhoods get policed differently. Now laws hit differently. Now sentencing looks differently. Not because of inherent nature, but because perception was engineered. If you control the headlines, you control fear. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bells so you will know when I drop that new video. Stereotype number 3. The absent father. The broken family. This one hits deep. The idea that black families are dysfunctional by default. Let's rewind. The idea that black families are dysfunctional by default. During slavery, families were separated intentionally. Wives got sold away. Children were sold away. Men were sold away. You break the structure on purpose. Then, after emancipation, you destabilize economically. What you mean by that? In the 1960s, reports began framing the black family as pathological, not asking what policies contributed to instability, just diagnosing the outcome. And the narrative grows. Baby daddy, deadbeat, fatherless culture. But here's the question nobody asks. What happens to a community when mass incarceration removes men at disproportionate rates? What happens when housing policy clusters poverty? And then you blame the family structure? When a system breaks your foundation and then blames you for the cracks, that's not dysfunction. That's by design. But stereotypes simplify complexity. They don't ask why. They just slap you with the labels. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. And turn on your notification bell so you'll know when Jason Sharpe drops that new video. I appreciate all y'all for joining me on this journey of dark history. We on episode 3 of 4. We doing Black History all February, baby. 4 episodes. This is episode number 3. Stereotype. Stereotype number 4. Inferior and unintelligent. This one might be the most damaging. The idea of intellectual inferiority. In the 1800s, pseudo-science claimed racial hierarchy.
At Away from the Keys wants to know, how do you define pseudoscience? So pseudoscience refers to beliefs or practices that appear scientific on the surface, but they lack the repeatability, the reliability, or the credibility of science. Often they're making claims that are based on anecdotes as opposed to evidence. They often start with a nugget of truth and then widely exaggerate that beyond what reality would indicate.
They were doing measurements of skulls, fabricated IQ theories, all to justify domination. Then segregation ensured underfunded schools. Limited resources. Separate but equal. Make that make sense. Meanwhile, black communities built colleges. They built businesses. Built entire economic districts like Tulsa's Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
But those achievements weren't amplified. They didn't put that on the media headlines. They didn't put that on evening news cycles. Because stereotypes require selective storytelling. If you hide accomplishments long enough, people assume it never existed.
Whoa.
If you underfund education long enough, then test outcomes becomes proof.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Not ability, but of inequality. And perception becomes policy. Policy becomes reality.
Reality reinforces stereotype.
Cycle complete. So now, let's step back and take a look at what we got here. Lazy, criminal, broken families, inferior. 4 labels, 4 distortions, 4 narratives repeated for generations. And here's the thing. Stereotypes shrink identity. They compress humanity. They take millions of different personalities, millions of different experiences, millions of different stories, and flatten them into something simple, something digestible, controllable. Because it's easier to manage a label than a human being. And if you stack those stereotypes together, lazy, criminal, broken, and inferior, you don't just get a stereotype. You get a container. You get a container. A word that carries all of it. A word that holds the weight of every distortion. Should add some water here. In the next episode, Part 4, Dark History, we're going to open that container and talk about that word. Not emotionally, not recklessly, but honestly. Because before you can understand that word, you have to understand the architecture behind it. Let Let me say that again. Before you can understand that word, the word that we go disclose in Dark History Part 4, you have to understand the architecture behind it. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'll catch y'all next Thursday at 8 for Dark History Part 4. Stay sharp.